some more views from you. But, you know, there's an interesting study that my colleague Mahima has done. Now, it's raining buybacks, we know, right, on Deal Street these days as well. And it's raining blocks. But what are some of the companies on which there are blocks or buybacks worth buying or investing in? What are the companies with the highest amount of buyback in particular? Which sectors are leading? Here's the Profit Research Special. Mahima.
Right. So as you rightly mentioned, there are two ways in which a company, rewards their shareholders. One is dividend or it's buyback. The question really is that should an investor look at the buyback history before investing in that company? Let us find that out. Now, in terms of the past 5 to 6 odd years data, the highest number of buybacks were done in 2022, followed by 23 and 24. But in terms of the highest amount, 2023 saw a buyback of over 48,400 odd crores. So this is the overall view as to how buybacks have fared in the past 5 to 6 odd years. Now, which are these companies where we've seen highest buybacks? In terms of number, highest buybacks in the past 5 years were seen in Ajanta Pharma, Eclerx, SIS, Aarti Drugs as well as Atul Limited. But here, in terms of the 5-year returns, highest returns have been given by Eclerx, which stand at around 1100 odd percent, followed by something like an Ajanta Pharma, which gave return of around 162%. Now, in terms of the amount of buyback, the highest amount of buyback was done by most of these IT companies, where we saw the highest amount was done in TCS in the past 5 years, which was around 51,000 odd crores. The share grew by around 72% in that 5 odd years. Highest return was given by L&T though, which did a buyback of around 10,000 odd crores in 5 years, and that was around 303 odd percent. Bajaj Auto also did a buyback which was around 6,500 crore and gave a return of around 218% in the past 5 years. So major names are IT here and followed by one auto name. Now there are some other prominent names also that are known for their buyback history. That includes something like a Balrampur Chini, FDC, NMDC as well as Tanla Platforms, in which Tanla Platforms has done 2 buybacks in the past 5 years amounting to 235 crore, but the return that the company has given is over 895%. The highest amount of buyback in the past 5 years is also done by NMDC, which is around 1,300 odd crores, but the company gave a return of only 150% in the past 5 years. Moving on to now, sectors that are known for their prominent buybacks, that includes your IT, sugar as well as pharma. In terms of what basically are the benefits of buyback, now instead of paying dividends, companies generally use buyback as the other medium to reward their shareholders. Buybacks are generally used to return the excess cash that company has to their investors. The company aims to reduce the overall number of shares available in the market, and because of this, the overall earning per share goes up, and that is how the shareholders are rewarded. In terms of how these buybacks are viable from a tax perspective, of course, reduction in the as I mentioned, outstanding share leads to create a demand in the share of the company, so there will be a huge spike that comes in post the buyback as well in general. Now, whether this is actually viable via tax perspective, well, in the interim budget 2024, the government shifted the tax payment provision to the investors rather than the company. Earlier, companies used to pay tax on buyback, but now an investor is supposed to pay the tax on the buyback share, the amount that it receives via buyback, and this is taxable at a slab rate. So this is one consideration that one needs to keep in mind while investing in these companies. Now, whether these IT companies, major IT companies that do majority of these buybacks are something to go ahead and buy right now, well, as per the analyst recommendations that Bloomberg has given, all of these companies are giving returns anywhere between a negative 6% to the highest 10%. Yesterday, we also spoke to Sandeep Agrawal, who did say that he sold 80% of his IT portfolio. So one needs to keep in mind before going ahead and investing in these companies that have done maximum buybacks in the history. So this is the overall view as to how buybacks have panned out in the past 5 years, and of course, something that one needs to keep in mind before investing in these companies.